live once again for what feels like the 50th time today. But we will make it 70 if we have to. Not a lot of time to go in this. Not a lot of time to go in this pool tournament today. We've got up until about 8 o'clock and then the play for the day should be finished. Prime time for you who've just gotten home from work, as Aaron Lilly slots that and squares us up at 1 apiece. Oh, he's over-cued that massively. He knew it as soon as he hit it too. You can see the white ball hoof back and didn't like it. You're in section... somewhat. You're in section 2 now, are you?
Yeah, I swapped it.
So you're replacing Andrew Hickey, aren't you?
Yeah.
So are you the 4th seed or?
Yeah.
Let's change that. Your name's spelt with 1 M, isn't it? Your first name. As opposed to the person who wrote this who spelt it with 2.
No, it's alright. They do it all the time. I told them, I gave them. Oh man.
Runs into the red nicely to maintain control of the white ball. I'm just looking at Simon's match on the left. That's not going to get there. It doesn't get to the pocket. So let's Aaron back in here, unless he's got a second shot that I haven't seen. In fact, it does look like he's got a second shot. Does he get a good bump on the 8? Not really. It does appear that there's a shot on there. You have to hit it quite fine though.
What sort of shot was that, McInnes?
Oh, we tried for the snooker and overhit it, but oh no, he's got a second shot. Once again, it's the peril of trying to follow 2 games at once, is that you miss stuff. But 1-0 to Andrew Hickey. Against a pretty handy player in Steve Alderson, it must be said. One off the break. Which is a bit of a shame because he got 2 reds as well, but he will cede the table to Steve Alderson here. Might well have gotten onto this red into the top right pocket here. If he has, then that's quite a fill-up for him. That's the red that was the most difficult to get on, and to get on it that early in the game. Oh, he did get on it, but he missed it. So, opportunity that he created for himself, he then lets go. Julie Alderson, that would be sister-in-law? Because you're Gary Alderson's wife, aren't you?
Is that Julie and Alderson?
Yeah. I do believe that I was speaking to you at the Nationals last year, just after your husband knocked me out. Gary hasn't been on any of the streaming tables yet, unfortunately, so I haven't had a chance to run the ruler over him. I actually don't even know how he's gone yet today, so... Oh, this needs to watch the cue ball. No, he's feathered it in. So Steve Alderson gets another shot at the frame. He had one earlier on when his opponent went in off the break, so this time he gets the white ball in the same position but with 2 shots instead of 1. I know what you meant, TG did. Actually asked me if I wanted to show or hide your comment. Oh, he's won 3 and lost 1. Oh, good stuff. Is he one of those rare spouses that actually keeps you updated with how he's doing? Because I wouldn't know about that. I'm an absolute shocker at staying in touch with people when I'm playing pool, especially my mum and my wife, and I get absolute grief for it. And Steve looks like he's just struggling a little bit with the bridge over the ball. It was either the yellow that's on the back cushion or the yellow more in the middle of the table. He was a little bit afraid that he'd commit clothing foul on it. Yes, I know. I know I'm a shocker. I think the thing is that when you're on holiday or you're playing pool and on holiday at the same time, often it's the last thing you're thinking of. That's a lovely slot there from Steve as I say that, and pretty much perfect on the black too. And down that goes, so Steve Alderson draws level, 1 apiece. There you go.
I played pretty well this last one. He broke him, I was sitting down. He left the black up late for him. And then he got the next one and I went 3-2 up and he just got all the luck. He was snooker on the black and he went off the rail because the black was up against my yellow and he went off the rail and hit the black in the middle of the hole.
Oh fuck.
It was just doing shit like that.
Oh, and off the break. I've seen quite a few of those today so far. Players not able to control the white ball off the break, so what his opponent did to him, he does back to his opponent, and Andrew Hickey will have ball behind the headstring, or sorry, the bulk line. Big deep screw back there from Simon to get back onto the 8. Oh, it popped out. It popped out of the pocket. That was straight in and straight out.
Can we see a replay?
I don't know how to do that. I've not been told.
Should I go in and help you?
Daryl,
I'll just go in and
how did
play
you get the
around and I'll
replays?
figure it out.
Well, that was amazing
Simon
because he...
potted the black and
Can we have a replay?
come back in again.
still amazes me every time I see it, even though I know that it can happen, because it's just something that shouldn't happen. You'd think as soon as the ball goes into the pocket, that should be the end of it. And Aaron couldn't quite get the snooker. I think he was looking for a bob each way on that shot. If he doesn't get the pot, then he can snooker behind the yellow.
He's going on YouTube and watch it, yeah.
Let me just close all the...
That won't go either. I think there was a bit of frustration in that hit.
5 games, yeah.
Finished 5 games.
Don't ask me. My first match, I went wrong mentally. 6-1.
Oh, hello. Hello, Francis. Good to see you here. Long but good day of pool here today. It's in a good array of matches on the streaming table. Some of them great to watch, some of them not so great to watch. That's talking about not so great as that shot that Steve Alderson just played. Gets a good little nudge on the yellow behind the black. Now he can pot that himself. Oh, he doesn't want to do that anywhere but there. Couldn't get a piece of the yellow either, so this will be 2 shots on the black. Simon will only need 1. So 3-1 now to Simon Singleton. This could be slightly awkward for queuing here, for Andrew having to queue over the red. Needs to make sure he gets a good slice of this. It's quite easy to actually not queue these properly when you don't have as much of the ball to hit. You don't. Of course, it's exacerbated by the small white ball. You need to be that much more assured with your queuing. Oh, he's queued that beautifully though. Does he get past the yellow? He does. So he's not only potted the ball, but he's gotten enough queue on it to run for the red at the other end of the table. Fairly natural angle here to just slot this in, come back down table for the red at the other end. But he's overcut it, so the opportunity goes astray. And Steve Alderson now with the chance to mop it up.
What do you reckon to you, John?
What?
It's going to be a close match this match out here. They're pretty even hard.
I reckon Simon's going to open up on this one. I reckon that one could be close though. Just needs to get this white ball back far enough so he's got a reasonable shot at the yellow near the middle pocket. He's going to try and move it. That's a good result. So he's risking the in-off doing that, but he's stayed away from it. And again, sometimes you just have to take the risk in order to get the reward. Yeah, he sort of went too far. Oh, that's not going in. He's not hit it very well at all. Didn't really hit it with any confidence, so often when you don't hit them with confidence, they don't go in. That's a really good strike by Andrew as well. Imagine this would be a fairly big screwback. It's a lot more difficult to play these with top because of the fact that the white ball just dies when you play with top. But if you give it a bit of screwback, then the white ball's very receptive. Oh, coughed it up. Had to force it somewhat, and sometimes that just gets your pot to hell. And Simon's missed the 8. Oh dear. That for Simon is a shocking miss. Do not see him do that very often at all. He's usually so good on those pressure 8s, and this time he just made a meal of it. Steve punishes Andrew for his indiscretion, and he goes up 2 frames to 1. So this time Andrew able to avoid the in-off on the break. Got a few balls down as well.
I was going to go on that table, but he's not going to do it. So there's always 6-1 up.
No, he's only 3-1 up.
I'm going on the next level of table.
You what?
I'm going on the next development table.
Oh, yeah. I'm just looking around on the games that are being played at the moment. We've got Michael Hayes up against Nick Spears. Mike Bowen and Glenn Coots are still playing. We've also got Dean Garnett against Corey Reid. Got Cohen Bly up against Kevin Kemp. Lincoln Moolu, I believe it is, against Rod Buck. Which is quite funny because they're both from Auckland, and yet Rod Buck's playing as a wild card from Taranaki. Just taking your advice there, Julie, and messaging my wife. Opening with the standard, how's your day been? So she's replied and told me it hasn't been too bad. So there, you've just started something, Julie. Hopefully I can remember to keep doing it. That somehow jaws out, and now an opportunity for Andrew to get stuck into these. Not too bad.
Long day at the office.
Fuck yeah. It does get tiring, eh? Just to keep coming off the rail. It's... I don't know if you can see that red over the pocket. If you can, he'll be okay. Otherwise, you'll have to take the long red into the bottom left pocket. Yeah, I'm one of those people that often needs to be reminded over and over again as well, because I just tend to check out. I tend to only focus on one or maybe even two things at a time and ignore everything else. I do get extremely single-minded sometimes. Andrew there trying to go in behind the yellow with no success. You start getting tired as well, too. You start getting tired as well.
How long have you been sat there?
On and off since about just before 10 o'clock. So it's, what, 9 hours? So 7 o'clock now. But I've been here for almost the whole time. I really should have just gotten up and fucking had a good walk around, or gone back to the unit or something. And Wattle Down, so it's about 5 minutes drive away.
You got a car or?
No, shuttling. If I had a car, it'd be a piece of piss. I'd just drive back to my unit, or I'd just drive somewhere and do some stuff there and then come back. That's what I'll do tomorrow, eh?
Yeah, it was less pull tomorrow, about half the amount, isn't it?
There's like the teams.
Come back refreshed on Saturday. So they, the
Well,
main
Saturday hopefully we'll have more people to commentate with me.
Well, it's hard. Do you find it's hard to get up in the section play? If you're commentating,
unless it's certain players. Like you'd think for Simon you would, or if you saw Adam playing you would, or you playing you would.
Game, but then tomorrow or Saturday, you're gonna know that one of them's going home, sort of thing, and a bit more at stake.
Yeah, and also they're playing better by that stage as well. So players are humming. Maybe I should have cut this and had you speak into it to discuss that point. Just got Adam Shaw here with me up before he gets called up for his match. First of all, I will ask the customary question. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but those of you viewing at home won't. But how have your games been today?
Yeah, it's been going pretty well actually. Possibly better than I expected because I wasn't really coming in with any form, but I've won all my 4 matches so far. I've got 1 left. I've had some decent score lines, and I had a good win against Neil Wally, which is obviously Neil's a top player, so anytime beating him it's good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy so far.
Who are you playing next round?
Playing Jason.
Jason Martin.
Martin, yeah. So, but yeah, no, so it's all good really.
Yeah, so always a bit unexpected when you haven't really been practicing for an event and you come in and absolutely nail it on the day. You don't exactly expect to, do you? You don't come in with expectations, but
no,
it's
well,
always that
thing,
much sweeter when
time,
you do.
You know, a lot of the time I am fairly competitive, and I'll often want to come to a tournament and do well, so I have high expectations. But then this time I'm just coming and just kind of coming for a good weekend away and have a laugh.
Hopefully you'll have your gear sorted out for tomorrow.
I didn't realise being handsome was the criteria for being a commentator.
It always is. Did you not know this?
I do now.
Face mate for radio. There we go. I'll leave you.
Yeah, I can hear a name being called, so go hard at him. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I like to call that kind of thing.
Oh, it's
Not
worry
yes,
me.
well, I like you. Don't like that, Ken. We good there? Good luck. Not bad. Doing a good job, mate.
Thank you. Oh, dirty. But good at the same time from Steve Alderson. Using the yellow quite well as a shield there to leave him snookered, and now he's got to play off the side rail. It looks like going perhaps 2 rails to hit the red at the far end of the table. I mean, whichever one works the best, isn't it? And does get a connection. So he's played that really well. Has left the yellow on in the centre pocket, but have to be careful of the white ball here, that he doesn't get hung up behind the 8. So this black is to take a 3-1 lead and duly disposes of it. So Steve Alderson 3-1 up over Andrew Hickey, which is the same score by which Simon Singleton is up over Aaron Lilly. Looks like he's left himself just enough of a cut here on the yellow top right of your screen. Slices it in, and you can see all of the reverse English he put on that to help slow the white ball down. Because so often those just disappear, but you put enough reverse English on it, the white does slow down because it's running against the cushion. And drops the black, and 4-1 is now the score. Simon Singleton up over Aaron Lilly. break from Steve Alderson is not a successful one. Haven't seen a lot of dry breaks in this tournament yet, at least on these streaming tables. It's quite refreshing to see balls go down on most of the breaks. This is a 2 for 1. I don't quite know why he's so annoyed at that. Maybe he wanted that for position on something. Yeah, lots of games to get through. Not too sure what's happening here with Simon and Aaron. There's some sort of equipment malfunction. Comparing cues. You can see the shark rack there as well. Simon was telling me about that before, how he has offered it to all of his opponents to use and they've all turned it down. Hmm?
7-2.
I missed a lot of frames. Missed an awful lot of frames apparently. It scores 7-2. Simon against Aaron, so that match now has finished with Simon the victor. Maybe that's just how long it's been today, at least the following poll. Start making mistakes, and anyway, having to tuck the shirt in to make sure you don't foul on that yellow on the cushion, or even if you're that scared of it, then use the jigger. But he drops the black in all the same. Steve looking intently on to see if he did make a clothing foul, but he didn't.
Is that Steve?
No, it's Andrew. So 3-2 the score now. Tony Van Wyck and Kerry Wirtz.
Is that what this going on this one?
Yep. Oh, that'll be a good match.
Is that his spelling?
W-I-J-K. I believe the V is lowercase as well. He's from Auckland.
Kerry Woods.
Yeah. And from Tasman. Got a magnificent game to finish off the day on the other streaming table. Tony Van Wyck from Auckland playing Kerry Wirtz from Tasman. So once that game gets started, we will switch over to the split screen so you can watch that game as well as this one. Again, plenty of balls off the break, but that red that stopped right next to the white ball actually cuts off a big portion of the table. It's a bit of a shame it's ended up there, but unfortunately can't really do much about it. Just got to play around it. Do remember, of course, that he did get 2 reds off the break, so he can take the Reds without fear of an open table if he misses it. So no pot, but he has promoted it quite nicely. Just a question for both you, Julie, and TGD345. Where did Steve get the nickname Stumpy from? I've heard him called that quite a lot, but I still don't actually know where their nickname originates. And just squeeze the red past and be on for a plant here. It's just going to be the one that's tied up near the yellow. Opportunity perhaps now to get that out if he can force this red on the left into the pocket and come off the rail into the yellow that's away from the reds and maybe push that into the yellow and the red. He's just looking at the angle now. He may even be able to go all the way around for it. That's what he's looking at, and again that white ball makes it easier to do so because of all the action you can put on it. How's your line? That's not too bad. Just there saying to Steve, can you please keep an eye on this because of how close the balls actually are, and the shot's quite a hairy one. In fact, he's going to ask a referee to take a look at this, which is a good move. It's pretty sure Steve's got reasonable eyes, but a referee can make an official adjudication on the shot. In fact, he's waved it away. He is going to play with Steve just watching the shot. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That was fair all the way. It's a fair shot and a good shot. Now just needs to put a little bit of work on this white ball to get back even to where he is now. It's only a small screw shot. He doesn't need to go overboard with it. And he needs to remind himself of that before he plays it, just to make sure that he doesn't overscrew it. It is better to overscrew this than underscrew it, but even so you want to be in prime position on the black here. And he has overscrewed it, but he has managed to leave himself a reasonable shot into the corner pocket here. As we switch to our split screen view, because the match between Tony Van Wyck and Kerry Wirtz has started. And it looks like he's going to play for the 8 in the middle pocket here, not the corner pocket, but the middle pocket. How's this rolling? It's down. So a good finish in the end by Andrew Hickey, and he squares this up at 3 each. I will again just leave you for a moment, and I will be back in a couple of minutes. And back now. No, that's not correct. 1-0, I believe, the score to Kerry Wirtz, unless I've missed another frame.
Are you hungry? Have you had anything to eat?
Not since about 5, I think.
You hungry? You want something?
I am. Might go. Probably have a look at what's in the restaurant. Actually,
That's right. Just turn the mics off when you want to go through.
oh yeah. He's trying to leave the white ball stuck on the 8 there to, if not snooker Andrew, then to give him a nasty shot, but it's always a difficult shot to judge, and on this occasion it hasn't quite worked. And the other reason why he plays that shot is to try to force Andrew into playing that yellow that's right next to the black to open it up for him. Kerry's always fun to watch play. And looking at him on the table on the left, he's playing at the moment. I think he's just saying to Tony, could you please watch this, because of the possibility that he can hit the yellow first, but the shot looked okay to me. Didn't pot the ball. Not a lot on here for Kerry, even though Tony has missed the yellow. Play a double and then leave the white ball down the other end of the table is, by the look of it, about the only thing he had. And that's a great response. You just got to hope for Tony's sake that that yellow he's just promoted is now on. As if it's not, it's a bit of a shame. The shot was good enough to deserve that. And no, it wasn't. Tony, all right. How's your games been going?
5 from 5.
Oh, very good.
5 losses from 5
Oh, damn. Have you actually played any good or nah?
Hey?
Have you played any good or nah?
Oh, I'm playing alright. Just bloody hanging in the black. Doing
Ugh.
a clean up, hanging in the black. Or bloody, yeah, giving away too many fouls.
Yeah, that's not helpful, is it?
No, that's all right. I'm the best loser. I'm only here for the clutch.
So Kerry for probably seems like the first time in ever actually using the jigger there and using it to great effect. Snooker on both balls here for Tony, although if he can hit this, come off the cushion and hit the other yellow reasonably softly, then he does have a chance of giving a snooker back. That's not going to get there though, and that'll be a foul snooker. Call that yellow as a free ball if he wishes, and this he does, and he works out into a good position on the black. And that's a good pot there good long pot there from Steve to get himself ahead. And Kerry, as we see, just making that frame, so 2-0 to Kerry Wirtz at the moment.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Oh, 3-0 to Kerry, is it? Sorry, Edwin. Yeah, no, I actually went away very briefly to use the toilet, and there's always a chance that I would have missed a frame there, so there you go. I've just updated the score to reflect that. Also good to have you on, Edwin. That looks like both of those reds actually go into that bottom right corner pocket. It's the one looking at Kerry's game there. If the red closest to the rail doesn't actually go, then you can actually pot it off the cushion, which it looks like he's doing there, but on this occasion it's unsuccessful. If he were to do that and pot it, then you can see the position he would have achieved as well. Play it the easier way as Tony rather meekly surrenders the table there. Flicks in red off red. There's the plant.
Hey, mate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Edwin, I don't have a person to to go and check the scores for me as far as the games that haven't been streamed, so I don't really know a hell of a lot about how everybody else has been doing, which is a bit of a shame because that's the way it was meant to be originally, but that hasn't been able to work. Not sure why, because there's enough people here to do it. It's just a question of getting it organised. But yeah, I will have a quick look to see if I can find out something for you. I'll be back soon. Okay, I have the leaders of the sections so far. Section 1, Simon Singleton has won all 5 of his matches and he has 35 frames for and 11 against. Adam Lilly in Section 2 has won all 5 of his matches and is 35 frames for and 9 against. Phil Wilkinson and Adam Shaw currently co-lead Section 3 and they are both 4-0 and they both have a game to play. Section 4, Glenn Coots and Matt McInnes both have 5 wins and no losses. Glenn Coots is 35 for and 11 frames against, and Matt McInnes is 35 frames for and 12 frames against. Section 5 at the moment, Jimmy Henry, 4 wins, no losses, and still has a match to play. Section 6 is quite heavily delayed, so don't really have anything solid to go on. Section 7, Baden Jackson has 5 wins and no losses, and Tony Van Wyck with a game in hand is 4-0, and he is currently playing on stream. Section 8, Des Wilcox 1-4, lost 1, and Brent Wells 1-3, lost 1 with a game in hand are your section leaders. So hopefully that will help and will answer your question. A look at this from Kerry, just about potting it out of the snooker. I'm just going to check quickly what the scores are for these 2 live streaming games, because I'll bet anything they've changed.
Just a heads up, the restaurants will be closing at 8:30, which is in another 40 minutes. So if you require some food in your belly, go down and see the guys at the restaurant and we'll have to serve you some amazingly delicious food.
Thank you, Edwin. Still not too sure about the other match though, because I couldn't see a scorecard. I get the feeling that 4-3 is not correct. I'll have to ask either Steve or Andrew if they can tell me their score. Looks like Tony's going to get a frame here though, as he drills the black and gets himself on the board. So 5-1 now. Kerry Wirtz still leading. And 4 each in the other match. So I will be going through to the restaurant at about 8 o'clock. So that's in 10 minutes, so in 10 minutes I shall have to leave you, and we'll be back here around about 9:30ish for tomorrow's play. Hopefully we have another excellent day's play ahead of us when we resume tomorrow. Yeah, I've had a couple of meals at the restaurant already today, and they've been A1. They've been excellent. So a lot of credit goes to the Manurewa caterers and chefs. They've done an absolutely magnificent job. So we'll be getting myself a feed very soon. Just about potted the white ball out of turn there. He's just a wee chuckle to himself as he realised he's just cheated death there. $5 o'clock tomorrow. No, I believe it starts at 9:30 tomorrow, and everybody has to be there at 9:30. Some of the, well, Section 6 in particular being delayed as badly as it was, they would certainly benefit from an earlier start because they need to catch up on their games, are at least a game behind. So most sections, in fact, I think every section bar Section 6 has played 5 games, or they're on their 5th game at the moment. Section 6, I believe, will have only played 4 by the time play ends today or tonight. Oh, Steve, stop it. This look at, he even looked sheepish as well. Now just the decision what he wants to do with this. Is he going to try and play for a snooker, or is he going to try and pot it somewhere? I don't think there's enough room there to force that in. Does he get a lucky snooker? No, he doesn't. So he did try to double it in. And Tony Van Wyck's managed another frame there, so 5-2 now. Berg, screwback. This needs to stop to be in good position for the 8. That's not bad. Andrew's a bit umming and hahing about that, but they wouldn't be too disappointed with that. Just put a good stroke on it, which he does, so he pulls ahead 5-4. Yes, it is still post-section tomorrow, Brook. Each player gets 7 matches because there are 8 in a section, and every section bar Section 6 still has 2 matches to play. So every player, still has 2 matches to play, bar the ones in Section 6. So I will bring up very briefly what the schedule is for tomorrow on my phone, so I can let you know exactly what's happening. So yeah, the last 2 or 3 rounds will be played tomorrow of section play, and then the Calcutta will be done late afternoon towards the evening, and the regional team event will be, I believe, at 7 o'clock. It says here in the draw at 7 o'clock the regional team event is, and that will be players from every single province playing each other. They're drawn to play against players from another province. Manawatu won it last year, so we will see again if they can hold the ascendancy in the teams event. No problems. Alderson Bly. Oh, there you are. You're Cohen Bly's mother, I take it. I don't know exactly how your son's been doing. I'll actually can go and check for you briefly before I go off air, unless he's actually been giving you updates on his progress himself. Yes, just checked with the control table. Cohen has played 4 matches and unfortunately has not registered a win just yet. I believe he's playing his 5th match at the moment. So, yeah, 0-4 so far, but with a chance to perhaps change that in his 5th match and finally get a win for himself. Was in that televised match that we saw earlier when he played against Michael Hayes. He certainly didn't disgrace himself. Alright. It's just Cohen Bly's mother, just on here. I just went and found out how Cohen had been doing.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't actually won a match yet, even though he's... So I was just saying how he didn't disgrace himself against you.
Balls like that, the results often don't reflect the games, eh?
Yeah, I thought he played quite well against you.
I think it's just like he's beaten himself up a little bit when he made mistakes early, and that, well, he didn't realise I played pretty rubbish before that, but as soon as I saw him sort of kind of showing a bit of negative body language, it gave me a big lift. I was like, oh sweet, he's getting down on himself and trying to pick me up. I remember learning that lesson the hard way back in the day, but you never want to give your opponent that feeling, you know.
Yeah, that you're becoming defeated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I thought he actually played quite well in that game, Alderson. Hopefully he can get something going tomorrow, and I'd imagine he'd be quite unlikely to qualify, having not won a match yet, and with a maximum total of 3 wins that you can achieve, but at the very least he'll want to put a good fight up and remind people that he is good enough to be here. One thing your son does have is a lot of time on his side. He's only 17, so he's got a lot of pull left in him if he decides to continue to play. Kerry Wirt's just about to get onto the hill here, and once the splat goes down I will sign off for the evening. So 6 frames to 2, Kerry currently leads Tony Van Wyck, and it's been great to have you all on at various times of the day when the stream's been good, and hopefully you will tune in again tomorrow to watch some more section play and then to watch the teams event in the evening. Should be another magnificent day of pool awaiting you, so thanks for watching, and if you are at somebody else's place then drive home safely.